Importance of verbs in English. We have already got to know what are the different parts of speech available in English. Verb is one of the parts of speeches. Okay. Now we are going to understand the importance of verbs in English. What is the most important part in a human body? When do you think human body will stop working? By failing which particular element or a part, human body stops working? What do you think?
Heart.
Heart. Great. Very good, Shobika. So, this is the chest, but verb is a heart. Okay? Verb is a heart of English language. Without verb, a language cannot be completed. A sentence cannot give a proper meaning. You need to understand that. Verb acts like a heart of English language. Okay? What do you need to run a bike? You might say petrol. Okay? You might say a human being. You might say we need to kick the pedal. But if you don't have an engine, you can't start the bike. Similarly, what do you need to start a car? Again, engine. Right? So without engine, how can you even start a vehicle? We can't even start a vehicle. You might have the complete setup. It might look like a car, but definitely you will not be able to drive this car without having an engine. Exactly in the same fashion, verb acts like an engine for all the sentences or all the phrases in English. It is of that importance. Okay? The bigger the car is, the bigger will be the engine. Okay? So that doesn't mean that do I need to use bigger helping verbs or bigger verbs. We will go in depth about the types of verbs in coming slides. But get to know that without verb, we cannot frame a proper sentence, a sentence with a complete meaning. That's how important it is. So now let's understand sentence structure. Let's take an example of a person driving a car. Let's consider, I'll name this cartoon as Viresh. Okay? I write a sentence as Viresh is driving a car. This is a proper sentence, right? In any given sentence, there are three parts. This sentence is made up of three elements, I would say. One is subject, second one is verb, and third one is object. All of us know the definition of sentence, right? What is the definition of sentence? Sentence is a group of words that gives complete meaning. Now I have put in 4 words here, and this group of words is giving a meaning that Viresh is driving a car, right? When I say Viresh is driving a car, the person who is taking, now here we have a noun, here we have an object, and here we have a verb. So we are using different parts of speech to complete the sentence. So in order to complete the sentence, who is taking an action? That person is going to be subject. What action that person is taking? That becomes a verb. What is the definition of a verb? Verb is a word that shows an action, right? And upon what particular thing or on what the action is being taken, that becomes an object. Okay? So I'm going to list it down. And finally, you might ask me, what is here? Is a word, and that is a helping verb. This is connecting between the noun and the verb. Okay? So let's see. Viresh is going to be a subject. Driving is a verb because it shows an action. Car is an object because the action is being taken on a car. And is a helping verb, just like tires. Okay? Tires are helping to run this car, right? Similarly, is helping to frame the sentence in a proper way. So, how to identify what is verb, what is subject, or what is object? Very simple. You just need to ask certain questions, the right questions. How? Whenever a sentence comes in front of you, you can ask, who is taking an action? If you get an answer, if that in that sentence, if you get an answer to who, that answer will show that is the subject. The next question would be, what action is being taken? Whatever the answer you are going to get, that answer is going to be your verb. And upon what the action is being taken, that particular thing will be called as an object. And whatever is left out, okay, and which is connecting the noun and the verb is called as helping verb. Okay, it is very simple. Let's see some of the examples of sentences now. Okay, so let us say Sahana is brushing her teeth. Okay, so if I say Sahana is brushing her teeth, can you all mention in the chat box what is subject here? Which word is the subject here? Sahana is a subject. Very good. What is verb here? Ketan says brushing. Okay, very good. Brushing is a verb here because that is showing an action. What is object here? Teeth is an object. Awesome, Shobika. Okay, good. Similarly, let's take this example. Can you frame a sentence? Or let me give you a sentence. Kids are swimming in a pool. Write down a subject in this. Good. What is object in this? Listen to me carefully. What is object in this? Very good, Ketan. What is verb in this? Swimming is a verb here. Okay. So it's very simple, guys. Who is taking action here? Kids are taking action. What action they are taking? Swimming. That's why it's a verb. In what or on what they are taking an action? In a pool. That's why it is object. And who is helping noun and the verb? It's are. That's why it's a helping verb. Okay. So it's very easy. There's nothing difficult in this. You just need to be aware about what kind of right question you need to ask to that sentence to get the right answer for yourself. Okay. So try doing this and definitely you'll be good at it. Okay. How many of you open the tab while brushing? Just say me in the comment box if you do that. Giridhar says me. Okay. Guys, I have one small request to all of you, but that's going to make a big difference in the whole world. Water is a very precious resource. So don't keep your tap open while brushing. Okay. Try to switch it off. Open it whenever needed. By doing that, you can save a lot of water to the world. We are not the owner of this natural resource. And that's the only reason why many people are not getting water and they are dying because of starvation. They are dying because of not drinking water. Okay. Not starvation, sorry. So make sure that you use water wisely and keep your tap open only when you need it, not while brushing. Okay. So just avoid keeping your tap open all the time you are brushing or you are doing something else. Just because the water is coming freely from the overhead tank and all, you need not have to get the water or you need not have to lift the water. That doesn't mean that you waste it, you drain it. So please save water. Okay. Now let's understand types of verbs. What are the different types of verbs are there? There are two types of verbs. One is helping verb and the second one is action verb. Again, if I take this particular swimming pool and the kids, in this example, we have made a sentence that kids are swimming in a pool. Kids is a subject and swimming pool, swimming is an action. That's why it's a verb, and pool is an object. But what are the other things that are helping these kids? They are wearing these masks, goggles. They are wearing these gadgets like, okay, tube. Somebody wore something which assists them to swim in the pool, right? So these are the things which are helping them to swim easily. Okay, they are doing an act, but there are the gadgets which are helping them. Similarly, in every sentence, in most of the sentences, we can have different kinds of gadgets, different kinds of helping verbs. So some of the examples of helping verbs are, okay, is, am, are, has, have, was, were, had, shall, will. Okay, these are some of the examples of the helping verbs. There are few more examples available which I'll be covering in next classes, but for the sake of your understanding, I'm telling you, I have given these examples now. Okay, what are the different kinds of action verbs we can find out? So I've listed down some of the action verbs here, like drive, sing, brush, eat, sleep, read, swim, watch, run, cook, write, comb, sit, wash, speak, bath, tell, sweep. It can be anything. Okay, so let us say, and we can use any of these helping verbs to frame a sentence in different tenses. Okay, what particular kind of helping verb we need to use in what particular sentence, tense, I'm going to cover that in a later part. But initially you need to understand there are two types of verbs. One is helping verb, the other one is action verbs. Okay, so action verb is the one which actually takes an action, which actually shows an action is happening, and helping verb is the one which will help to connect the noun with this action, verb. Okay, sometimes the helping verbs also acts like a action verb, so don't get confused with this. Let me move forward so that you can understand it a little more better. Now identify the elements of this sentence. You need to again create subject, verb, object, just like you did a while ago. Start typing in the chat box, guys. Sita is feeding the deer. What is subject, what is verb, and what is object? You need to start writing it down in the chat box. Very good, Ketan. Very good, Shobika. Deer is the object. Okay, great. Next sentence. Do it fast. Lion eats meat. Lion eats meat. What is subject? What is verb? And what is object? Ramesh catches fish. Fast. Subject. When I say subject, everybody types subject. First two letters of subject. First two letters of subject, so that we can make it fast. Okay. What is verb? What is object? Okay, good. Next. Cow gives milk. What is subject? What is verb? What is object here? Good. Next. Ravi has a pen. What is subject? What is object here? Listen to me carefully and then answer. What is object here? Very good, Sana. Very good, Rohan. Okay, good, Smita. What is verb here? Very good, Smita. Nice, Sana. Very good. Next sentence. Rani sings a song. Subject. Type in first two letters. Object. Wrong. Somebody wrote sing. SI. Singing, sings is not an object. I said object. Don't get carried away with the flow of subject, verb, object. That's why I'm asking you. Be attentive and try to mention the word what I'm asking you to mention. Okay. Here, Rani is a subject, sings is a verb, and song is an object. Okay. Okay, subject. Very good, Sana. Next sentence. Nihal. Shubhika, you wrote Nihal. Again, NI. Okay, it's subject. Very good. Very good, Varni. Very good, Shobhika. Swimming pool. Jumps. Smita, I think you were mistaken mentioning swimming pool as a verb. Swimming pool is not a verb. Swimming pool is an object. Jumps. Jumping is a verb here. Okay. Great. So, are you all feeling comfortable? Are you enjoying, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. So let me move forward because we need to cover a little more things. Types of action verbs now. We are going to see how many types of action verbs are there in English. First, there are verbs called transitive verb and there are intransitive verb. What do I mean by transitive verb? Let's see the sentence. It's an action verb that needs an object to give the complete meaning of the sentence. Just now we have seen there is a proper structure of a sentence. We have three different elements: subject, verb, and object. In any given sentence, if there is no verb, that sentence cannot be completed. Okay? Even if we remove the object, that's fine. The sentence can make some sense. But there are some verbs which has to have an object to give the proper meaning of that sentence. Okay? Let's see an example. If I write Ravi likes, what? Is it a complete sentence? No. So, what is the subject here? In the very first sentence, Ravi likes. What is the subject here? Ravi is the subject. Likes, liking something. Okay, it's a verb of kind, being in a state. Okay, there are two types of verbs. One is action verb. The second one is a state of verb. Okay, being in some state. Ravi likes means Ravi likes something. What is that something? So that something is required. That something is object here. Okay, you can write anything here. Ravi likes gulab jamun. Ravi likes to drive. Ravi likes flying a kite. You can opt in anything. You can fill this particular dash 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 with any word that comes to your mind. Whatever you like, you can put that also as an object here. Okay, let's move to the second sentence. Kishan fights. With whom? With what? When? Okay, you can fill up anything. Without that particular object, this sentence cannot be completed. This sentence doesn't give any meaning. Sneha hates. What? Sneha hates what? Okay, this sentence cannot be completed without filling that object there. My dad wants. So this verb, these are called as transitive verbs. Likes, fights, hates, wants. Okay. Our house has what? Our house has a swimming pool, or our house has a garden, or our house has playground. What is it that is having? So we need to understand. Okay. So this is really simple. The verb that doesn't give any meaning without having object, okay, that is called as transitive verb. On the contrary, intransitive verbs are those, it is an action verb that needs no object to give the complete meaning of the sentence. Now you might be asking me, you might be wondering how a sentence can be completed without a verb, without an object. It can be, guys. Okay, let's see some of the examples. It's raining here. It's raining. If you say it's raining, I just asked, how is the weather in Hubli, Sana? Sana said it's normal. If it would be raining, then she would have said it's raining here. It is a subject. Raining is a verb. There is no object, right? Even then, this sentence is complete. Let's take second example. They slept at 9 p.m. They is a subject here. Slept, that means they are already sleeping. So I'm saying they slept. Slept is a verb. At 9 p.m. shows a time, but that is not an object. If I would have said they slept at 9 p.m. on bed, then the on bed might be, it could have been the object here. But without object also, this sentence is giving a meaning here, right? That's why they slept at 9 p.m. So this is giving a complete meaning. Mom was cooking. My mom was cooking. You do not have to say what she is cooking. But still, if somebody asks you, what's your mom doing? You can say, mom is cooking. That's it. That makes sense, right? That gives them a complete meaning. So this is an intransitive verb. My brother dances well, right? So what kind of dance he does, where he is dancing, not required. My brother dances well. My sister sings well. She looks beautiful, right? These are the sentences wherein you'll have the subject and a verb, but there is absolute no need of any kind of object to complete these sentences. Okay guys, I think we have already summed up almost everything. So, and we are already at 8:06. So this is the third assignment for you guys. Okay, what you need to do is write 10 sentences and identify the elements: subject, verb, object. You need to draw a line like this. Okay, a sentence will be there and you need to write, you need to draw one line and you need to write subject below that, and again one more line below the verb, whichever you find it as a verb, and then write verb there, and one more line after the object and write obj below that. Okay, you need to write 10 sentences like this and identify the elements of these 3 elements of that sentence. Then write 5 sentences using transitive verbs. Write 5 sentences using intransitive verbs. We have just seen what are transitive verbs, what are intransitive verbs. If you guys have any doubts, please let me know. I'll help you understand them right now. Or else you can again go through this video which I'm going to share with you, and then you can start writing your assignment. Okay, but
sir.
Don't copy it from the sentences which I have already written. Okay, and then share your assignment with your accountability partner and get it checked. You need not have to send it individually to your accountability partner. I want you to share your assignment into the group, into the WhatsApp group, and then tag your accountability partner. Third assignment. Third assignment dash tag. My roll number is 5, so I am tagging it 6. That means the roll number, tag roll number. Okay, you can mention it as tag roll 6. That means I'm tagging it to roll number 6. If I put it like this, the third person, the person with the roll number 6 will understand that he or she has to see it, check it, and then give the feedback. Okay.